You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast.
Here's more information. Welcome to the Village of Wappinger Falls monthly meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees for Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. Please rise for the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm just going to make an announcement. With this spike of COVID, we may have to consider Zoom meetings in January. It's going to depend upon what happens after the Christmas and the New Year's, because all the numbers are going up. And so we'll have to see how this works out. With that said, because we have to be safe. With that said, roll call, clerk.
Mayor Sereno.
Present.
Trustee Sidoti. Absent. Trustee Ponte.
Here.
Trustee Nesnick.
Here.
Trustee Huber.
Present.
Trustee Ruffin.
Present.
Trustee Lauricella.
Here.
Village Attorney Wallace.
Here.
As previously directed by the board last meeting, I posted a legal notice for tonight's public hearing for local law number 1, which is granting permission to have 2 alternates on the water board. Need a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
Trustee Ponte. Any comments about local law number 1?
What is the reason to have 2 alternates? Who this has been brought up by who?
The water board and the mayor, and the reason is you need 3 board members, and if one doesn't show up, you don't have a quorum.
You need 3,
You need 3.
and if one doesn't show up,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't have the meeting.
You can't have a meeting.
So why do we need 2? And then are they gonna both get paid, whether they're voting or not?
I can't really answer that question. Maybe mayor can.
They've come close to a couple of times of not having a quorum.
All the alternates
Okay.
get paid.
So are we going to, I asked that if that's what we're going to do, then we should enforce the requirement of attendance. If we're not going to enforce an attendance requirement for the seated individuals, this is a reckless proposition, in my opinion.
Well, there is a provision in our code right now for attendance.
Right, and it goes unchecked and unenforced time and time again.
It would have to be enforced by this board. So there would have to be a formal request for this board to consider any absences for removal. And, that's up to the board.
Yeah, so I know there's a mechanism in there. My point is, if we're not following that mechanism, I don't want to pay $400 for non-voting members because other members that are also taking tax dollars aren't finding the time to make these meetings. It seems like we're just doing that kind of easy cash grab kind of thing. I understand it's only $200, but if we're being asked to put 2 people in place so that if other seated board members are not attending, and then we have situations where seated board members are consistently not attending, those seated board members will be asked to leave. And if we're not going to do that, I'm not going to vote for 2 alternates. That's all I'm saying.
Understandable.
Because it seems kind of silly.
I think one alternate would be great, but understandable. I agree. I mean, it's only the 3 of us.
Right, so you should have 1.
Is that one? Yeah,
Because people should be attending.
yeah, definitely.
But if you're having
Take
2,
your house
because
in.
you know people aren't attending,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. It seems a little peculiar.
I could clarify one thing in that. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Mayor wants to.
Well, you have a current alternate, right?
Yes, we have a current alternate.
So you have 4 now, and you're gonna wanna grow it to 5.
Well, we have 3. 2 with the current alternate. He's the 3rd, because the chairman stepped down and no longer on.
You have a vacancy of a chairman.
Yep,
So I am taking the position of the chairman running the meetings,
okay,
okay?
yep.
You have an alternate who comes to the meetings, but hasn't gone through this process. We made him an alternate.
Yeah.
So, he got challenged a few months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago.
What do you mean got challenged? I just don't understand what you mean by that.
Got his position isn't in the blue book,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Right.
By a village employee.
Yeah.
And so this is cleaning it up.
Yeah. But why is it 2? Cleaning it up is 1. We're adding another one. That's what
For him to make him 1 and then 1 more.
But Adam's saying
No, no,
why
no.
the additional second one?
Why do we need 2 alternates?
Because you could make another commissioner and I would only then be ex officio, so to speak. I'm running the meetings. I have to now go to these meetings all the time.
Well, we should actually take this opportunity to install a new water commissioner. We could do that, and then you don't have to.
Candidate for that.
Huh? Well, there are candidates. There are people. There are people that are interested, capable people.
I've got a couple hits out there right now. I haven't got.
I mean, and then that would take that strain off of you. I mean, there's no reason for you to have to do it. All I'm saying, this is what I don't get. I understand there was an alternate. I understand an employee questioned it. So why don't we just memorialize that? Why are we taking an opportunity to add a secondary when I just don't, I would like an explanation, because it doesn't make sense to me. If we have people that are consistently not coming, and they're getting paid every month, we should tell them, thank you very much, go home, you're off the team, and then we put somebody else in there. Because right now, we're just expanding government and expanding the cost. I understand it's only a couple $100, but we're not in a position to be doing that. So my question is, what is
I don't
the,
see the expansion.
well, we had one, and now we want two, so that's more being
He's
expansion.
already there.
Who? What do you mean he's already there?
He's already a water commissioner.
So
He's an alternate right now.
right, we're asking to
He wanted
create
in April.
two, what you're just asking us to do is create two new alternates. Is that correct, or was it misread?
It is, two new alternates, yeah.
Up
to two.
Why can't we just do the one?
Up to two, though. You don't have to fill, right now, there's a vacancy in that second. You don't have to fill it.
We can make one alternate, and that's it. You're allowed, they're saying you're allowed two. We're gonna allow two, but we can make one.
Up to two, yeah.
That's fine. You know what? What I just said was really simple. I'm for it if we follow the policies of requiring people to fulfill their obligations on their position. If you guys don't want to do that, then I'm not for it. That's it. It's simple. If you want to tell people, you got to come to your meetings. If you don't come to your meetings, you're off the team.
We agree with you on that.
Okay, so then that's cool.
If I can just add to Adam's query there, that the legality of some of the water board's decisions would be called into question if we don't legalize this, this local,
No, I understand.
okay?
We're
But for one.
legalizing,
For one.
we're legalizing the positions for one of them who's already there. And that gets into what Craig just said.
So in other
And then
words,
while we're at it, let's do one more, is my point.
so in other words, you're not saying you're gonna have the second one, you're just saying that this allows you to do up to two, but you have no intention of making a second alternate.
For alternates, correct.
Okay, well, that's an important
We're still
clarification.
going,
Thank you.
we're still going to need a permanent one.
You still have positions to fill, it's just, they're not gonna be as alternates, you have a, okay.
And we need to make rules.
I have those rules drafted.
You got the rules drafted?
I already did, I circulated them.
And we should make now more than ever, we should really put securing a commissioner, installing a commissioner right now, at the top of the priority list. Take some of that unnecessary pressure off you, Mayor, and find somebody who wants to commit and be a part of it now. Otherwise, why wait till reorg? Doesn't seem, or I don't know if that's your intention to wait till reorg. I'm just saying, now, if we have people that are interested, willing, ready, and able candidates, we should really consider doing that.
Well,
That's
we're
all.
going to see how the next meeting or two go at the water board, only because things may develop.
Gotcha. I appreciate that.
And I don't want people, I've got a couple of names, but one can be sometimes a little controversial.
Well, so can I, but I get a lot of work done, so.
Okay.
I'll circulate the new rules for the board's consideration at, at the next
Appreciate it.
meeting, if you so, if that's your desire, of the
Okay,
board
thank you.
to consider that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna leave this hearing open, or are you gonna vote?
Let's vote.
Vote, get it done.
Close the public
Okay,
hearing first.
if you're done with discussion, do
Thank
you
you
wanna
for
close the
listening.
hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Won't I?
Aye.
Resolution for 2021, resolution adopting local law number 1 for the year 2021, amending Chapter 148 Water, Article 1. Water Use and Connections 148-2, definitions of the Code of the Village of Wappingers Falls. Whereas a resolution was duly adopted by the Village Board of the Village of Wappingers Falls introducing proposed local law number 1 of the year 2021, amending Chapter 148 Water. Whereas a public hearing was held on December 29, 2021, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf of their opposition to said proposed local law of any. Seeker has been followed. The village board, after due deliberation, finds that it is in the best interest of the village to adopt local law 1, and whereas the local law has been on the desks of the members of village board for at least 7 days, exclusive of Sunday, for its adoption, be it resolved that the village board hereby adopts local law number 1, 2021, amending Chapter 148 Water. Be it further resolved that the village clerk is directed to enter the local law into the minutes of this meeting and into the law book, and the Village of Wappingers Falls shall file it with the Secretary of State as per law. We need someone to make a motion to approve or introduce local law 1.
Who wants to introduce it?
I'll make it.
Who wants to second it? All in favor?
Roll call vote. Mayor Sereno.
Aye.
Trustee Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Sidoti. Absent. Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Ruffin.
Aye.
Trustee Ponte. Trustee Lauricello.
Aye.
Carried.
Mayor, can I just interject something?
Sure.
Earlier you said that the village would possibly be going to virtual meeting.
I said we could look at that because depending on what the
So to add
situation is.
to add to that, I just wanted to let the public know and the board know that a resolution or a local law does not have to take effect. You don't have to pass that. It can be done by virtue of executive decree by the mayor, and it would just have to be posted on the village website and, and a proper announcement made to the public. That's all.
Following the agenda now, quickly, Casey Engineering did not respond to my email, so I'm assuming they did not have a report for you this month. And I need an authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, returning back to the printed agenda. Approval to hire provisional full-time typist, building clerk, water department, Miss Brenda Alfonso, effective 1/3/22. Hours are 35 per week.
I'll make that motion.
On a question.
Sure.
All the water commissioners are in favor of said applicant to take this position. And I'm assuming the personnel committee has done their due diligence
Yes, she's gonna.
and have at least spoken to her and maybe given her an interview.
Yes.
So, unless there's any negatives on that, which I doubt, there could be, but unless there's a negative,
Made a motion.
Well, I would just say that I did speak, before anything, I got the word of recommendations from the water board, because I did take that seriously, so good, appreciate you pointing that out. I think it's important that the water board weigh in. If they don't weigh in, it feels like it's,
I have one question on that.
yeah,
I see, it says 35 hours here,
yep.
and in their union book, it's 40. We're not gonna have no conflict over this, are we?
Well, that's a good question for Mr. Carter. I do think that we had reached
well-
out.
Well, wait. My job is to interface with New York State Civil Service.
Right.
And I spent a tremendous amount of time to get that through, to be able to make a provisional appointment. This board It's a 20-hour-a-week job at best. It's not a 40, it's a 35, it's this, that, and the other thing. That job that I advertised, and you all know about that, I advertised for a secretary position, not a senior secretary. That was there. The senior secretary position is 40 hours a week. This position does exist with Heather McCormick, the same exact position.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a union guy. I don't do negotiations with unions. But if there's a problem, and you're saying there could be,
I'm just asking, I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that.
I just know it in their agreement.
I don't know the arrangement with that, and I really don't care.
Well, I can say that during my interview with her, I had never met Miss.
Well, if you want to make it a 40,
I mean,
No, we don't want to.
No, no.
Let me just say.
I got to go through the whole process
No, we
again.
don't want to.
No, no.
We specifically, I think what his point is.
I just don't want to have
Yeah.
a grievance. You
Well, all I know is
know
that
what I'm saying?
I had yet to meet Ms. Alfonso. I met with her and Mr. Carge, Christmas Eve. I don't even know, was it the day before Christmas Eve or something? And she was great, very well qualified. I think she will be a really great asset. And in doing that, I was very candid with her and I said, I want to be crystal clear that this position is a 35-hour week. We went over the pay scale and I said, you know, if we offer this package to you, we expect that you understand that these are the hours. They're not 40 hours, they're not 38 and a half hours, they're 35 hours, and this is the rate. And she was very
That's fine.
gracious.
She's fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Well, that's important to
I think the
stipulate.
board is fine with that.
Yeah.
But what Kevin's saying is he doesn't think the union's fine with that.
I don't know if they're.
Now, every single day, when are you going to fill that position? That's what I get from the water department. They dragged their feet for weeks on this. They knew she was leaving 6 months ago. It gets dropped on my lap at the last minute. I'm told what the job consisted of. I advertised it. I went out, wrote letters, canvassed, did the whole thing. I would be amazed if somebody from that union came up and said, you know, that job's really a 40-hour-a-week
And
job.
I'd also, you know, yeah, just while we're on that, I just want to just publicly, you know, just make it known that I did not agree with the fact that our outgoing secretary was allowed to take vacation without doing it properly. I just want that to be made clear because it wasn't done properly. It shouldn't have gone that way.
John, can I just clarify that you called county civil service? and
I
the
have a letter-
position Was not, it was newly created,
Yeah,
correct?
it's not the same position. The other one was a different position.
What we have upstairs for building clerks, one is a secretary, no, one is a typist, and the other one was a senior typist. The typist was at 35 and still is. The senior typist was 40, which has been reduced to 35, and the senior typist position still exists in our inventory, but we also have another typist position at 35 hours a week, so they're both equal. The advantage of doing that is they can cross-train each other. We don't have that now. Our serviceability to the,
And you didn't have it when you had the opportunity to do it.
either.
Because there was resistance.
Yeah, we asked.
The obstacle that we had is not there. We need to move forward for the sake of the village now.
We had a month. I would ask for training and was told, nope.
And it was no surprise that that person was going to leave that position.
Yeah, it was like, no, I'm not
Months
going to be
ago.
able to train.
Months ago.
because, I'll be on vacation starting.
Anyway, my point is, I have water folks coming to me almost on a daily basis. When is the position going to be filled? When is it going to be filled? And the next thing I hear from them is, oh, it's not 35, it's supposed to be a 40.
No one said
I'm
that.
going to walk away from it.
No one said that yet. I'm just asking a question.
So as long as the board is aware they're voting on a position that is in our current inventory for 35 hours,
Yep.
that's all you have to consider.
And I have a letter from Dutchess County personnel signed by the county executive granting us that provisional appointment.
Yeah.
Thank you for going above and beyond for us to get
Well,
this built.
I work there, I see what's going on. We're managing, there's two of us. I want that person in that job Monday morning at 8 o'clock to start.
Okay,
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll
Second.
second that.
and we have a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor votes aye.
6 plus. Good. Thank you all. On behalf of Heather, thank you, too. Approval to hire 2 part-time court clerks, Miss Linda Mitchell and Miss Emily Foss, effective January 3rd.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ponte, second.
Motion made and seconded.
Trustee Niznik first.
The next item, I'd like to draw your attention to this.
Do you want to vote on that, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Carried. This extension agreement here, on this page of the handout, is an annual requirement for municipalities within Dutchess County that have enforcement facilities, police. And basically what it is, that if you have someone that you incarcerate for some reason that might be challenged somehow mentally or whatever, that you agree you will go out and try to find an agency to work with that individual. And this is an annual thing we go through. You see all the villages, all the cities, all the groups there that have police facilities. So,
So this is something that's currently in existence?
yeah, it's going to expire Friday, so I got to get it in,
We're well aware of who to call, all that's already established?
all of that. I can read it to you if you want.
No, I just,
It's the second paragraph, mental illness, substance abuse, special needs. So if you were to lock one of them up, or you were to arrest one of them, you're agreeing that you would get some help for that individual, is what it is. And there are a lot of agencies available to assist in those types of needs.
It's vital to our police department to have this resource at their disposal.
I just got this yesterday, and it's got to be signed by the mayor tomorrow. So I would need a motion to approval for the mayor to sign that document.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Ruffin,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. S.W. Johnson Fire Company had their elections. You remember last meeting, it was William T. Garner had theirs, Johnson had theirs. It's all printed there for you to look at. The reason it's so important that we do this by the 1st of January is so that they have structure within their houses, and any of the drivers, any of the new drivers are compensated along with their custodian. So it's important for me every year to sit down with the treasurer and make sure that they take off or add on new drivers. So if we could have a motion to accept S.W. Johnson's officers list for 2022.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. What we have here is a 30-day advance notice for Norma's Corner Shop, 2648, 2650 East Main Street, on their new liquor application. When I get those documents, and they're also in here, you'll see it in this handout. First thing I do is I get with the building inspector to see if he would have a problem with them either renewing establishment, either renewing or a new applicant. And in this particular case, Brian said it's fine. He's looked at everything and he's good with it. So a resolution has been prepared for you tonight. Whereas Crystal Williams, as managing member of Norma's Corner Shop LLC, has made application to the State of New York Liquor Authority for wine, beer, and liquor license for its establishment. And whereas the village has been provided with a statutory 30-day advance notice. And whereas the village board, upon the recommendations and approval of the building inspector, has no objection to the grant the license to Norma's Corner Shop, and hereby waives its right to the 30-day hold on the application for their liquor license. Be it resolved that the village board of the Village of Wappingers Falls hereby waives its right to require the 30-day hold on the application for Norma's Corner Shop LLC for a liquor license. I need someone to move that.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded by Trustee Ponte. Roll call vote. Mayor Sereno.
Aye.
Trustee Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Ruffin.
Aye.
Trustee Ponte. Trustee Lauricella.
Aye.
Trustee Sadati's absent. Carried. Approval for KC Engineering to prepare bid packages for the Route 9 sewer project.
Can we have a discussion on this?
Yeah?
We all got an email about them, saying that, basically that they're gonna be not our engineers next year, the way they take it, the way
At
we,
the end of,
at the end,
Yeah.
April.
April.
Well, that's
March
on,
31st, right?
it's on the agenda to talk about that.
Okay, well, my thing is if the construction period is gonna be sometime late March, early April, and if they're not gonna be our engineers, then maybe, and I don't wanna push this off any further than we have to, but again, if they're not gonna be our engineers, then maybe we ought to start looking for somebody else to do this for us, because, I mean, you're only gonna pay for it twice. You're gonna pay for it now, then you're gonna get another engineer in here, and I'm sure KC's not gonna give up their drawings and their design to give it to another engineer
We've already paid for it.
that we already paid for. Am I correct?
They will be obligated to give them to us.
You sure about this?
Well, hold on, I think that the letter though, it was, I guess, a letter advising, their intent not to accept an appointment next year. They would be around for projects that they've already have a substantial amount of time invested into it. And it would be in the village's best interest to keep them as holdovers for those particular projects, to avoid exactly what the scenario you just set forth.
All right, because, I mean, we're gonna be, we've already paid for one thing already that they already started to have somebody else do, so I just don't wanna do it again.
So they're very much already involved in this particular Route 9 sewer project, so it's their drawings, everything's theirs right now.
Everything is ready to go.
They're just doing the bid package to get it out, so.
That's correct.
All right, so long as we're all on board with this, we don't pay for this again.
According to their chart, right here, it's in your handout,
Yeah?
Route 9 sewer improvements, Duchess Plaza, Aero Auto Glass design, status done.
All right.
That's what it
I
said.
mean, this is a project that has to be done, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I think whoever's doing it needs,
We've already paid for all the work, so
Yeah,
if we
so-
get another engineer, we're gonna pay for it again.
yeah, I don't wanna pay for it again. I wanna pay for it once and one time only.
It's all been paid for.
All right, okay.
It also says Route 9 sewer improvements, Duchess Plaza to Aero Auto Glass, bidding and construction not scheduled.
Yes, that's the project that they will be doing,
That's right. That's the project.
Okay.
because that's the one where they, over in, it was the Aero Auto Glass, there was a tank in the ground when they first started, a few years back.
Yep.
So what we need is a motion for KC to go out and prepare bid packages.
I'll make the motion that Casey goes out and gets the bid package.
Second.
Yep. All in favor?
All right.
And the vote's aye.
6. Okay. There is an MOA here with a resolution authorizing the mayor. Resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding with Dutchess County in connection with Dutchess County Climate Action Planning Institute. Whereas in 2019, the Village of Wappingers Falls previously partnered with Dutchess County and 8 other municipalities on a successful Climate Smart Community Grant, CAPI Dutchess, to work with the Hudson Valley Regional Council, local government for sustainability, to develop government operations, greenhouse gas inventories, and government operations climate action plan for each of the communities through a 16-month facilitated workshop process. Whereas earlier this year, each of the municipalities signed onto a CAPI Dutchess Memorandum of Understanding, also MOU, which outlined how the required matching funds for the New York State DEC grant would be made up of for the municipalities' non-cash contribution of time from staff and appointment volunteers. And whereas there was a problem that developed requiring changes to the insurance requirements, and therefore changes needed to be made to the MOU. And whereas the village desires to enter into a new MOU, a copy of which is annexed hereto now, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Wappingers Falls hereby accepts the terms and conditions set forth and contained in the MOU in the form annexed hereby. Mayor can execute the MOU by and behalf of the Village of Wappingers Falls, and to provide a fully executed copy of the agreement to the clerk, which I have also attached in here.
What were the changes, though?
Said insurance. Attorney Wallace, you have anything to weigh in on that?
No, I just sent kind of like an email with an attachment that basically explains what this particular organization does. We're one of 10 municipalities within the county. There are 2 villages, us and I think Red Hook or something like that. That's a part of this consortium. It does not obligate us to any monetary commitment, but it is basically, it was basically formed to report on climate emissions for local governments in a way to be smarter and with climate initiatives.
It's the City of Beacon, City of Poughkeepsie, Town of Amenia, Town of Pleasant Valley, Town of Poughkeepsie, Town of Rhinebeck, Town of Unionville, Village of Rhinebeck, Village of Wappingers Falls. Those are the municipalities that are affected by that.
Okay.
So I would need a motion authorizing the mayor to agree to this MOU change.
So who provides the money if there's no monetary?
DEC, right?
Also, it's a county program.
Yeah.
So I need someone to introduce this resolution.
So we've already been in it, it's just updating
Yep,
it?
since 2019, I guess. I would just, if whoever makes the motion, contingent upon the attorney's review.
The attorney already
Yeah, I
reviewed it.
reviewed it.
Well, did he review last contract?
Did he do a comparison? You mean?
This is this is just made up of volunteers, so we have no monetary commitment. But I just wanted to, but
This is just a change to the existing agreement. It said insurance.
Okay.
It's a non-cash contribution.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ponte, second that. Roll call vote, Mayor Sereno.
Aye.
Trustee Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Ruffin.
Aye.
Trustee Ponte. Trustee Larissella.
Aye.
Trustee Sidotti's absent. Okay. The next one is the MIG extension agreement, which should also be in there. If you're not familiar with it, I put it in the package. Somewhere.
What is this, resolution month? How many we got? 5?
Every month.
Got a lot of them. Resolution authorizing the extension agreement with Dutchess County in connection with the municipal investment grant. Whereas the county Department of Planning and Development in the Village of Wappingers Falls has previously entered into an agreement dated October 6, 2020, for the municipality to complete its tri-municipal wastewater treatment upgrades through the Municipal Investment Grant, MIG. Whereas the parties desire to extend the term of said agreement for an additional period upon the terms and conditions set forth in an extension agreement, a copy of which is annexed here too, and it's right here too, and here. Which the attorney also looked at. Whereas the village desires to enter into the said extension agreement on the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees in the Village of Wappingers Falls hereby accept the terms and conditions set forth and contained in the extension agreement in the form annexed hereto, and authorizes and directs the mayor to execute the agreement by and on behalf of the Village of Wappingers Falls, and to provide fully executed copies of the agreement to the village clerk. Now, this is granting extension to what previous board has already agreed to.
Okay, you need a motion.
I need someone to move it.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ruffin. Second. Trustee Ponte. Roll call vote. Mayor Sereno. Trustee Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Ruffin.
Aye.
Trustee Ponte. Trustee Larissella.
Yes.
Trustee Sidoti absent. Carried. Resolution 34, 2021, resolution authorizing unpaid leave of absence in the Village of Wappingers Falls Police Department. James Martinez is requesting a leave of absence to April 24, 2022. Commissioner Ferry is in support of P.O. Martinez's leave of absence and has advised the Village Board of Trustees of his support. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees in the Village of Wappingers Falls hereby authorizes Police Officer James Martinez to take an unpaid leave of absence from the Village of Wappingers Falls retroactive from December 26, 2021 through April 24th, 2022. Be it further resolved that the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources is to be notified of P.O. Martinez's leave of absence and all paperwork required by law accordingly that I take care of. Can we move this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Larissella, seconded by Trustee Kevin Huber. Mayor Sereno.
Aye.
Trustee Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Ruffin.
Aye.
Trustee Ponte.
Aye.
Trustee Larissella.
Aye.
Trustee Sidoti, absent. I was asked by Cindy Latino to give you a grant update. As you can see, she's listed 5 projects that she's following up on that were left behind when grant writer Yusevich took on another job. She's following these through to completion with some help of Lori Java as well. So I don't have to read the whole thing unless you want me to, but it's all there for each of the LWRP, the Hudson River Estuary Grant, Boathouse County Grants, Bain Park, and Tri-Muni Grant.
So she is working with Lori on these?
She's working on these part-time.
You said she was working with Lori, John?
She is, she's working
Well,
with,
they've interacted on some shreds of information, like on the Tri-Muni grant. She worked on that specifically herself, and then Lori just made one phone call at the end, and then we got the extension. Okay. The other one was the Tri-Muni was $105,000, the extension for it. So now, Tri-Municipal, we did the grant, the village did the grant, and Town of Wappinger and Town of Poughkeepsie, it's like a pass-through for all three of us.
and you just approved their extension.
And we just, we got the extension, so that $105,000 for, in the Tri-Muni, I think it's odor control, will go proportionately to the three municipalities. On the other one, we got a commitment that has been approved too. It was Bain Park, that we got an approval on something. Okay.
So there's certain projects she's finishing out on her own.
Correct.
And then there's certain projects that require the help of Lori to finish them, so they'll be finishing them together.
Yeah, she'll probably be only working on, as I think I see it, three.
Okay.
Bain Park being the one.
And we haven't given her anything new to work
Oh,
on.
no,
Now,
and I don't expect to.
No, well, that was where I was going.
I've been somewhat involved with the boathouse too. We have heat on in the boathouse at the moment. And I can't, Brian Murphy said you can't have the heat on over there. I can't turn the heat off for fear of a freeze and killing everything, busting everything up. I called the engineer who works for the architect, what's his name? Schwartz. I talked to him, the engineer on it. I asked him repeatedly, fix me up with somebody that can winterize that system. He did not. I took it upon myself to use our plumber to do it. And he will do it this week. Once he's winterized it, it'll be off. And that'll be it.
Excellent, thank you.
It's frustrating, it really is.
Well, it's only frustrating to the extent of what's the temperature, what's it on at? It may, with that system, I want to tell you, and Kevin would know it too. With that system, it may be better to leave it on its lowest possible setting.
Mayor,
No, I'm just.
you get my vote. The building inspector said, turn it off.
It's gotta feel like a three-season room, so whatever it is.
It's not permitted.
It was done wrong. We're gonna go back to the whole thing where the whole project was done incorrectly.
What I'm saying is this, it may be cost effective to leave it on at its lowest possible setting, because to drain all that out of the system You know what's in that floor?
The system's not allowed to be there.
I took one
It was
other,
done wrong. Why?
one other thing.
Why does that annoy? I mean, I know why it annoys you, because we spent $700,000 on a property and did it incorrectly, so now we can't use it properly, so that's probably what is annoying you, but we can't have the system. The state said we can't have anything in there.
Unless you insulate the roof.
Yeah, unless you did it properly. And
Well, that's gonna be the next one.
Well, my question to our plumber is, what kind of a chemical, liquid chemical is inside that floor radiant heat? It
oftentimes,
may already be something that's not gonna freeze, so you don't have to pump it out.
oftentimes it's just water, I believe.
I don't know. He's gonna let me know on that. And as soon as I find out, I'll let you all know.
It's usually a glycol mixture.
Well, that's what he said, but I wanna make sure of it because that was
I don't know.
a huge expense.
'Cause,
And if you ever do go to get to use it for 4 seasons, at least you'll have it. But the building inspector said to me, shut it down. Turn it off.
Listen, I don't want to get into name calling and everything else, but this is the same building inspector who told the board that he'd never been in this building in 10 years while we were doing work on it. Come on.
He probably hasn't.
right, that's the problem. That's part of how it was done incorrectly. It didn't go through the permit process.
Just
What
went
did he only do the work at 9 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning?
No.
If you have to, if I had to guess, it seemed like he was expected to not be a part of it.
He was expected to write off on it.
So, and he didn't write off on it because he has integrity. He just was removed from the process. But eventually it comes out in the wash, as it often does.
And maybe we should talk about this in,
Okay. So,
True thirds.
so that's the update. I'm gonna have it winterized. I'll let you know if there's any surprises. I gotta get it done.
Yes.
Not on here is the Cobbler building. The only thing remaining is for me to put a 36-inch door on the north side of that Cobbler building, and it'll be complete. Doors are very hard to find, I'm told, by this contractor. I already have a contractor for it. He's trying to get the door as soon as possible. Now, we're in winter. I don't know if that'll have any effect on getting it installed or not, I don't know. But anyway, I'm on that one. People are calling up about it. I think at least 6 people have expressed interest in leasing it. So, once the door's in, oh, by the way, it is winterized, so we don't have to worry about that.
And I do
John
think we
Kozak
should-
took care of that.
Do you think we should continue on that? You know, where we entertain the initial
We have Soul Mouth.
Solmouth.
Solmouth is the first person, the others came later.
Right.
Okay,
I think he'll be good for the village, that guy.
thank you, Cindy.
I really do. I sat down with him.
We are in receipt of a letter dated December 15th from Casey Engineering. It's also in here. I don't know what you want to do about that at this point, if anything, but,
I think her letter clearly states their intent.
okay.
I just think it's important that we still have some situation where we're signing off on the projects, that it's not kind of like, okay, I'm done, goodbye. You know, we have some projects that we have to really make sure.
Well, if you
That's why I said the Route 9 sewer thing. If we're gonna go with it,
if
we
you
be
saw her,
committed.
if you saw her, when she gave her little chart,
That's here.
okay, it kind of told you what she would do. Now, before the clerk did that, I had to enlarge it on my phone to see which one she was gonna be doing, but,
This one?
yeah,
It's in there.
yeah. But I mean, she's agreed to continue on with, I think 3 projects, isn't it?
she's agreed to, she's 90% done with the water filter plant design.
No,
Oh, that's
scratch
closed.
that one.
That's closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ongoing is general support with the village board, general support with the water board, village planning board engineer reviews. The water connection, village and town of Wappingers bidding and construction. That's not going anywhere. That's not scheduled. That's at idle at the moment.
Yes, that project is.
The Route 9 sewer improvements you know about.
That's the one that,
The boathouse site improvements.
the boathouse site, if the other part comes in before she leaves, of course she'll oversee it. The two lights that didn't have the banner slot for them.
She pretty much walked away from that and handed that over to me, telling me I should follow up with the contractor. So I guess that's what I do. The brownfield assessments, not scheduled. Bain Park Master Plan Project, not scheduled. That means she's not gonna do anything with it.
Well, there is a schedule though for that project. Okay? And so if we can't get it from her, we'll get it from the next engineer. That's all.
That's what it says, village to designate, yep.
That's all.
The LWRP 9-element plan, we talked about that. That's it.
I just have one, can I bring something up quick before we go into executive?
Okay, just before we,
Oh,
just after this in the packet, just take a quick look, because this will probably be an executive session item.
It is.
Okay, it's this item, the page with the CSEA in this packet. Okay,
I put it in there. This doesn't go out to the public.
No.
This package doesn't, but, you're gonna talk about that in a few minutes with the attorney.
and see what our status is with that. I signed it because that we received it because it was written up as a possible grievance.
I think trustee Larissella had something else.
Yeah, it has nothing, it's just, I was emailed by, Nicole and, Michelle, her name escapes me, but her last name escapes me, but, from RVAC, and they were interested this spring/summer into bringing an outdoor farmer's market to that parcel. And they looped me into the email and weren't sure if there was anything that needed to be done for them to be able to do that. And I said I didn't know, and I would ask tonight at the board meeting if there was anything that in fact needed to be done, or if she can just...
Where did they want to do it?
RVAC is the old Methodist church.
Oh, okay.
So I believe the goal, I don't think it's to do it at Mizzier, I could be wrong. But I think the goal is to do it under the trees and things on that, and on the grass in front of the church at that property. I could be wrong, but,
Like a peddler's permit, you mean?
well, I don't know if she needs a peddler's permit because she has a property that she's,
It's private property and they wanna have
it's
some,
the River Valley Arts Center. It's the old Methodist church that's now been converted to this multi-use space.
Right.
We had kind of a several seasons where we were attempting to get a farmer's market going with volunteers, and it's challenging. So it may be good if someone's doing it and it's not a volunteer. So if it's at that property, is there anything that needs to be done? I mean, they're qualified to do retail and to have these different things. So I mean, is this kind of just, would anyone know? I didn't really know who to ask, so I'm just asking the board officially so that we kind of have some progress.
I would probably ask Brian, only because it's on private property and you're selling something. And I know there's a wall for garage
It's a
sale.
$25 yard sale.
Yeah.
Type of permit.
Yeah, there's
Brian might be able to help
chapter
with that,
110 is called peddling and soliciting, and under that particular chapter, this board can set a, the statute actually allows the board to set the permit fee. Okay, so once a formal application is given to the village through John Karj, he'll then pass it along to the board and he can act on it.
No, it should really go to the planning board chairman and Brian.
Okay, thank you for the direction.
What I think.
My planning board.
Well, if they have an event on village property like Arts and Park and things like that, this board would have to approve that.
Right.
For Dutchess County Parade, this board would approve that. But I don't know about having events on private property.
Well, because the space is for events. That's the point of it. That's the point of River Valley Arts Center. They're going to have, events, sales, classes coming and going. They've already been approved of that. So that was.
It can be done, and especially if it's an agricultural use, that's it's a boon, actually.
Yeah, I would think. Okay, so I'll call Brian tomorrow and he'll give me some guidance. Thank you.
I got something also. A few months ago, I brought up about Garner's stove downstairs, and I reached out to the president, Gary Rogers, and I think we might be on the same page as the company takes care of the stove, and the village would take care of the hood system. They reached out to 3 companies. They only got 2 back, and the last one that came back is roughly $6,000 in savings from the first one. The first one was $21,912, and the second one is $15,2875. So
Well, we did talk about that. Both houses had problems with their...
both houses has problems, and if you remember correctly, they were going after a stove which was about almost $30,000.
The grant writer is aware of those, and, I mean, this is something you gotta do right away, because if we
This is
have,
something they don't have right now.
Right.
They don't have a stove either.
and we gotta have it, because if we have if we had some kind of disaster here, that's where people are gonna go.
Correct. So,
But are we in a position to support that financially, or do we wanna wait for a grant?
I mean, if you wait for a grant, you're probably 18 months out, and,
I don't know.
I don't know, I'm just going from,
I still like the idea of seeing if the firehouse can do some sort of fundraising and us also paying a portion of it. Only because I see firehouses fundraising all the time.
but I don't think they can raise that. I don't think they can raise anywhere near close to this.
No, but what if they raise $4,000 and then the village pays 11?
So Kevin, did I?
That's all. It's only because I know hearts, communities appreciate the firehouses and the
Yeah.
firefighters so much that you'd be surprised at how many businesses and residents could be generous. And we might think they will miss the mark, or we could be like, holy mackerel, we got 2 kitchens.
We may have, I don't know how much money we have left over. We had a sizable amount of money given to us from the insurance company for a flood, that we didn't use it all up. I think
This
there's quite
is a
a,
different firehouse, though. This is not Johnson's firehouse, this is Garner's firehouse.
well, it's money. It's,
Might be areas
Is
where
that for
we can,
Johnson?
No, it's
right?
for Garner's.
oh, Garner.
Garner's firehouse.
So, did you say that Gardner was going to buy the stove and looking for us to pay for the hood?
Correct. That's the way I take it.
So the total cost to the village, you're saying is $15,000?
$15,028.75 for the hood system.
We were asking for last time.
Is it possible that someone from your organization, one of the three chiefs or all three chiefs,
Well, this would come under the house trustee.
sit down with the grant writer and see if we can get a priority of some sort on it? When I spoke with her,
Or explain to her exactly what they need.
this might be a member grant that you get from a
That's-
senator or something.
Yeah, it's,
We need this for our community.
I don't debate it, but again, it could be simply you put up a GoFundMe page, and in a week and a half, you might go, we have $25,000. I mean, to say no, that's not gonna happen, I
I don't know, I
think.
think it's a village building, you should take care of a village building. It's like your own house. If something breaks in your house, you should fix it.
They're,
You don't let
they're,
it go.
I'm not saying let it go, and I'm not saying not fund it, but I just, whatever, that's cool. It just seems like that's something that the culture of firehouses, they do it all the time. I see them raise funds all the time. So to not do it just seems like you just don't want to do it, which is fine too, I guess.
Got this day and age, they used to do boot drives out there, but they don't do it no more because of what's going on in the world today.
I think at the very least, we should give the information to Lori and
Correct.
see if,
Because I'm not for funding it, Kevin.
Who do I hand this to
Just so
give
you
it to
know
Lori?
that.
okay. Give it to the clerk. We'll make a call to Laura.
All right.
We'll get back with you on the.
I understand, I'm not for
I
that.
understand.
The January meeting.
And I think we can, I'm gonna talk to Jen because there were places where we had some funds that didn't get, I think we can possibly find it, but I would just
You will
say
see.
if we
I will
can
tell
appeal
you.
to people's hearts, maybe we'll be pleasantly
She was
surprised.
very responsive, so when she sees this, she will
so Kevin,
tell you
by
yes or no.
next meeting, we should have more information
Yes.
to make a decision.
Even before that, we're gonna talk,
Okay, all right.
for sure.
Thanks.
but the reason
It's
you,
important to us, don't think,
I'm not saying-
don't
yeah.
take my suggestion.
No, no,
Not that I don't
I'm
think
not,
it's-
I'm not, I'm just,
okay.
you know,
We're passing the buck, I'm
yeah,
not doing
no,
that.
no.
the reason you can't use it is because the building inspector says you have to have a hood.
Oh, it's smart.
Even if you went to Home Depot and bought a stove from Home Depot, you're gonna need a hood downstairs.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, one way or the other. You can't get around it. It's kinda like the floor down at Boathouse.
Fire
You put a
safety,
floor in, you can't use it.
And we can't repair the hood that's there. Is
No.
that right?
We got
Because there's nothing like that hood you have to have. There's a hood there, but it's not like what you need by law.
Okay, I'll give this to her tomorrow.
Thank you.
this particular.
All right, Mayor, I got this too.
Okay, so. Is that it?
That's it. You can open it up to the board if you want. Or vote to go into
A
executive.
vote to go to executive session,
Second.
Trustee Huber?
and Adam.
Everybody stay here, I got something quick to just talk about with John. Kevin,
Yeah.
I know, there's been a lot of confusion, I think, between resolutions and local laws.
Motion carried.
Yes.